A room without books is like a body without a soul. If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need. Times are bad. Children no longer obey their parents, and everyone is writing a book. Read at every weight. Read at all hours. Read within leisure. Read in times of labor. Read as one goes in. Read as one goes out. The task of the educated mind is simply put, read to lead. Friendship improves happiness and abates misery by doubling our joys and dividing our grief. The life given us by nature is short, but the memory of a well-spent life is eternal. The higher we are placed, the more humbly we should walk. The life of the dead is set in the memory of the living. The love you gave in life keeps people alive beyond their time. Anyone who was given love will always live on in another's heart. For books are more than books. They are the life, the very heart and core of ages past, the reason why men worked and died, the essence and quintessence of their lives. A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious, but it cannot survive treason from within. An enemy at the gates is less formidable, for he is known and carries his banner openly, but the traitor moves amongst those within the gate freely, his sly whispers rustling through all the alleys, heard in the very halls of government itself. It is not by muscle, speed, or physical dexterity that great things are achieved, but by reflection, force of character, and judgment. If we are not ashamed to think it, we should not be ashamed to say it. Love is the attempt to form friendship inspired by beauty. Life is nothing without friendship. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. For what is the worth of human life, unless it is woven into the life of our ancestors by the records of history? The shifts of fortune test the reliability of friends. The good of the people is the greatest law. The more honest a person is, the less he suspects others of dishonesty. A low soul always presupposes the lowest motives in noble deeds. Poor is the nation that has no heroes, but poorer still is the nation that, having heroes, fails to remember and honor them. When a government becomes powerful, it is destructive, extravagant, and violent. It is an usurer which takes bread from innocent mouths and deprives honorable men of their substance for votes with which to perpetuate itself. Nothing is more noble, nothing is more venerable than fidelity. Faithfulness and truth are the most sacred excellences and endowments of the human mind. A man of courage is also full of faith. The pursuit, even of the best of things, ought to be calm and tranquil. Live as brave men, and if fortune is adverse, front its blows with brave hearts. The greater the difficulty, the greater the glory. Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. The safety of the people shall be the highest law. Of all nature's gifts to the human race, what is sweeter to a man than his children? Politicians are not born, they are excreted. Never was a government that was not composed of liars, malefactors, and thieves. We learn nothing from history except that we learn nothing from history. Do not blame Caesar, blame the people of Rome, who have so enthusiastically acclaimed and adored him, and rejoiced in their loss of freedom, and danced in his path and gave him triumphal processions. What is morally wrong can never be advantageous, even when it enables you to make some gain that you believe to be to your advantage. The mere act of believing that some wrongful course of action constitutes an advantage is pernicious. The wise are instructed by reason, average minds by experience, the stupid by necessity, and the brute by instinct. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Cultivation to the mind is as necessary as food to the body. We must not say every mistake is a foolish one. Glory follows virtue as if it were a shadow. Silence is one of the greatest arts of conversation. The function of wisdom is to discriminate between good and evil. It is the peculiar quality of a fool to perceive the faults of others and to forget his own. Just as the soul fills the body, so God fills the world. Just as the soul bears the body, so God endures the world. Just as the soul sees but is not seen, so God sees but is not seen. Just as the soul feeds the body, so God gives food to the world. An unjust peace is better than a just war. In times of war, the law falls silent. The authority of those who teach is often an obstacle to those who want to learn. While there is life, there is hope. It is foolish to tear one's hair in grief, as though sorrow would be made less by baldness. The enemy is within the gates. It is with our own luxury, our own folly, our own criminality that we have to contend. To study philosophy is nothing but to prepare oneself to die. I criticize by creation, not by finding fault. The greatest pleasures are only narrowly separated from disgust. What then is freedom? The power to live as one wishes.